What is up, everybody? It's me, Kami, and I am back with another project to teach you guys what specific heat is. Now, what is specific heat specifically? Well, the definition of specific heat is the amount of heat energy needed to raise the temperature of a substance by 1 degree Celsius. Now, to put it into simpler terms, it's basically how much heat an object needs to catch fire. Now, say for example, water and alcohol. Wrong way. This is water, this is alcohol. Now, water has a high specific heat. No matter how much fire you put on it, it won't catch fire. It takes there we go. No matter how much fire you put over it, it takes a lot for it to raise its temperature and for it to catch fire. On the other hand, On the other hand, alcohol has a very low specific heat. It takes a little bit of heat for it to actually catch fire. As you can see here, it really quickly showed a lot of fire. Now, this can be used in many different ways to catch other things on fire. So before I start this experiment, I want to warn you guys. Don't you ever try this at home. Never, never, never. If you're gonna try this experiment, make sure there's a trusted adult with you that's not only an actual adult, but has experience with this. I'm doing this at home because I'm the trusted adult and because my mom is behind the camera with a hose. Now, this part of the experiment is normally done with an adult, but in this economy, I'm gonna be using a cut up paper bag. Sorry, I forgot what it was from. Now, to start, we're gonna get the fibers of this paper bag, which is almost entirely what it's made of, and we're gonna soak it into the water. Now, this is to create a layer of protection for the bag. Since water has a high specific heat, if I put fire near this paper bag, it won't catch on fire. Now, we're gonna leave this here for a good minute, to make sure that every little fiber has some water in it. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna dip this paper bag into a little bit of alcohol. Specifically a little bit. Make sure the fibers aren't able to absorb any alcohol. That way, when you catch it on fire, you can barely see it, but it's on fire. The paper bag doesn't actually catch on fire. And if you touch it, it's just a little warm, but it's not actually hot. Why is that? Because the fibers were protected by a little layer of water with high specific heat, and the thin layer of low specific heat, alcohol, was just above the water. It wasn't absorbed by the fibers, so the fibers didn't catch on fire, only the alcohol. This next experiment is basically doing the same thing we did with the paper bag, but we're gonna be using me. Yes, that is right, everybody. I'm catching myself on fire. Okay, so first thing you gotta do is get a small bowl of water. Not that small, but like sizable bowl. And you're gonna get a bunch of dish soap so we could create some bubbles. Now, the thing about both dish soap and water is that they both have high specific heat, which means, as I said before, it won't catch on fire easily. It takes a lot for it to heat up. Every little drop. Okay, once you get the dish soap into the bowl, you want to mix it up to create a lot of bubbles. Cameraman, get over here. Now, as you can see, I'm mixing it up to create a lot of bubbles. Oh, whoops. Anyways, now if you're asking me, Kami, we're getting two substances with like high specific temperatures, mixing them together. How is that gonna catch on fire? Now, let me tell you, we're gonna fill these bubbles up with air freshener, so we can smell good when we're burning. Nah, just kidding. This air freshener contains a little bit of alcohol, making it what did we say again? A substance with low specific heat. By filling up these bubbles, oh, that is not a lot of bubbles. Now, by filling up these bubbles with an object with low specific heat, we're creating basically what we did with the paper bag. A layer of protection of high specific heat with inside low specific heat. Now, what we're gonna do is fill these bubbles up. We're gonna get the spray, fill up, make sure it actually works, and fill these bubbles up. There we go. I'll zoom in for you a little bit. Now we don't need a lot because we're not trying to catch the whole house on fire. Just me. Now, just like we did with the paper bag, I'm going to be soaking my arm into water. Oh. Now I gotta soak my arm all the way up to my elbow just in case the heat spreads through my arm. Make sure you leave it in there for a while so that no heat gets to you. I'm saying you, but don't do this. By you, I mean me. Also, I have to take off all of my jewelry for this because if you're wearing any metal jewelry, it could quickly heat up and burn your skin. And if you're wearing any fabric jewelry, like the bracelets I had to take off earlier in this video, it could also catch on fire since it doesn't really absorb that much. Okay, now that my hand is covered in water, I'm gonna grab a bunch of bubbles that we have created here and hold my hand away from me and over the water in case of any emergency. And now we're gonna light this girl up on fire. Now, when I was doing that, I could feel a little bit of heat, of course, because there's fire right in front of me. But if you touch my hand, absolutely nothing heats up. It's the same temperature as my other hand. Now, what happened here? Just like with the paper bag, the fibers in my hand absorb the water, and they use the bubbles, which has low specific temperature, and held it above the layer of protection of water that I had on my hand. Now, when I lit it up, there was nowhere for the fire to spread after it burnt up the alcohol, so it just dissipated. Let me try that again so that you guys could see a little more closely. There's not enough bubbles. There we go. I'm not left-handed. That Aura? That was Aura. Okay. Now, what do we take away from this video? Specific heat is the specific heat needed for a substance of about 1 gram to raise its temperature by 1 degree Celsius. In simpler terms, how fast something catches on fire or heats up. Now, as we see, there are items with low specific heat, like alcohol, and there's items with high specific heat, like water. Now, what I want you to do is think about other objects that have low, high, or maybe something in the middle specific heats. Before I end this video, I also wanted to let everyone know I will be using these videos to practice my public speaking skills. So feel free to send me any constructive criticism in this comments. Let me know if I'm speaking too fast, if I go off track easily, or if there's anything else I should improve. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hope you learned something.